In this video, we're gonna see how to convert a raw JSON into an HTML using Python. And here we have some raw JSON, right? And we're gonna convert this raw JSON into an HTML using the Python library. So consider we have converted that raw JSON into this HTML. You consider here is the employees key, and inside the employee key we have another table because we have some nested JSON data, right? And isn't this amazing? You can view this JSON into a nice HTML. So let us see how to convert this JSON into HTML using Python. Let's get started. Let's first install all the dependencies that we need for this project now. So here we have a main.py file, right? And first what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this HTML file because we're going to build a HTML file from scratch. So let me delete this, and we're going to keep only this data just JSON. So here we have only JSON file only. So let me create the Python file from again. Main.py is our Python file, and let's install the dependencies now. So let me open up the command prompt now. So the library that we're going to use in this video is the JSON to HTML. So pip install JSON to HTML and press enter. You can see the requirement already satisfied. So let's close this and import the library now. First we need to import the JSON because we want to load the JSON from the JSON file, and from the JSON to HTML. So from this JSON to HTML library, we need to import the JSON to HTML class. So now we have this, then what we can do is we can load the JSON file. So let me comment this, load the JSON file. So with open, I'm going to open the JSON file now. So the file name will be data.json, and I'm going to open this as a read mode, and the encoding will be UTF-8. So encoding equal to this will be UTF-8. So I'm going to open this as F, and then what we can do is we can read the contents from this file using that file object. So JSON data is equal to f.read. So either we can read the contents using the f.read method, or we can directly load the JSON. So JSON.load. So inside is just pass the f. That's it. Now we have the JSON data, right? So we have extracted the data from the JSON file. Then what we can do is we can pass this JSON to the JSON to HTML. So HTML output equal to we can use the library. So JSON to HTML. Here we have a method called the convert method. So inside this convert method, pass the JSON data. So JSON equal to this will be our JSON data. Now we have the HTML output, right? We have to save this to a HTML file. Let's try to do that now. So saving the output as HTML file. Again, we have to use the open method. So with open, I'm going to create a new file called the output.html. But this time I'm going to open this file as write mode. Earlier we opened the file as read mode to get the data. This time we're going to open this as write mode, and the encoding will be UTF-8, and I'm going to open this as, you can give any name output, for simplicity I'm going to keep it as F. So what we're going to do is F tag, right? We're going to write, first we're going to put the tags. So we're going to put the head tag now. Before that HTML. So let's also post the HTML tag, and inside the HTML tag, so let's paste the body tag. So inside this body we're going to put our JSON output, that is the HTML output. Inside this we're going to put the HTML output. So plus this will be our HTML output. We're going to concatenate the output between the HTML tag as well as the body tag, and that's it. Finally we can print a message like done. So that's it. So let me run this Python script now. You consider this is done. Now we got a HTML file, right? Let me open this HTML file. Let me right click and I'm going to open this with live server. You consider now we have converted the JSON into a HTML file. But the problem is we can't customize it. You consider in the original file we have some colorings as well as styling, right? But still this also looks pretty fine, but it lacks the styling as well. The problem with this method is that the library that we are using now is JSON to HTML. It don't have the other capabilities like adding these styles. Further, we have to install another library. So we go for the another library to adding the styles. So the another library name is the JSON to table. So we're gonna use this library. Pip install JSON to table. You consider this also requirement already satisfied. Let me close the terminal now. So you have to remove two lines only, that is the convert method only. We have to remove the convert method only. We have to define the configuration for this JSON to HTML, that is the JSON to table. So the build configuration, we are going from left to right. So this is our build configuration, and here you can define some table attributes. So before that, what we can do is we can keep the remaining things. We can only remove that one line. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut this. So let me go back now. So we can remove only this line. We don't need this line. So instead of that, I'm gonna paste the configuration here. So this will be our config, and let me paste it here. And then we can define our HTML output here. So HTML out is equal to, and this time instead of using the JSON to HTML library, we can use the JSON to table library. So from JSON to table, let's import the JSON to table function, and we can use that library now. So JSON to table, and this library will also provide the same convert method, but this will take additional argument. I will tell that in a minute. So JSON to table. So inside is just pass the JSON data. So pass the JSON data, and build direction is equal to our build direction that we have defined, that is to left to right. And here you consider it will take additional attributes, that is the table attributes. Here inside the table attributes, what you can do is you can pass the CSS stylings. So you can pass the CSS stylings inside a dictionary. For example, you can pass the border, padding, all the things that you want to pass. So for example, we can take border as 1. We can also give cell padding as 6. Similarly, you can add all other table attributes. For example, I have noted some table attributes in my notepad. Let me copy this and paste it here. You consider this JSON to table library will take these additional attributes, that is the table attributes. Let's pass this table attributes now, and remaining things it is same as the previous library. Now what we can do is we can run the Python script now. So let me run the Python script one more time. You consider now we got the done message. Let's go to the Chrome now. Let me refresh. You consider now we got a nice structure, right? Now we have a nice format. And one more cool thing is that is you can also put additional styling as well. So let me show you how to do that. Here you consider this is the table, right? And inside the original table that we saw this earlier, here inside this we have the styling as well, the color, the coloring, all the things. So further what you can do is you can pass the additional styling, additional CSS styling that you can add. So for that we have to tweak our code a little bit. So let's try to do that now. Let's keep our table attributes as it is. If you want to customize this, you can customize this further, but I'm gonna apply the additional CSS styling. Consider here we have the table attributes, have some table attributes. So let me copy and paste the table attributes now and paste it here. Consider I have passed the border collapse, all the style attributes. So let me save this and we can run this one more time. Consider is done. Let's go to the output file. Consider now is looks fine, but it needs the coloring. So let's try to add the coloring as well. That is earlier I tell you, right, we can add additional CSS. Here I have added some additional CSS. Nothing, it's just I'm adding some background coloring to the table. So let me pass the additional CSS here. So we're gonna append this additional CSS to the HTML now. So let me show you how to append that. So instead of adding the content between the HTML tag and body tag, what we can do is let me erase this. We can do this inside a string as well. Let me show you how to do that. So after this conversion, we can take a string like final output. So HTML final output, this will be our template string, that is the F string. So inside this F string, what we can do is we can open our HTML tag now. So first let me open up the HTML tag, and let's also close the HTML tag, and then we can open up the head tag. So inside the head tag we're gonna open our CSS styling. So let me also close this head tag now. Let's close this head tag, and inside the head tag we can open our additional CSS styling. So let me use the template string now, and inside the style we can simply open our style. So inside the style we can use the additional CSS here, and after the head tag we can place our body tag, and let me close the body tag now. And inside the body tag what we can do is we can pass our HTML output here. So let me pass the HTML output now. So now we have the HTML final output, right? So what we can do is we can write this to a file. So f.write, so we're gonna write this HTML final output and paste it here, and that's it. Let me run the Python script and done. So let me go to the file now. So let me click on refresh. Now boom. Now you can see that now we got the output in a nice format. So you can also customize this even further according to your needs. So yeah, this is how you convert a JSON to HTML using Python. So this is for this video and I will continue in the next one.